how did you actually promote yourself and get yourself out there so effectively that you have like a major following?
Well, we on Instagram I found this shout out, I guess S4S.
Mm-hmm.
And you help other artists to gain more follower, more likes, and more comment, and they do the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
And is a nice way to have a good publicity, or is a good spotlight for you. Also, I do a lot of contests. I don't win a lot, but I do a lot of contests. First of all, because you have a reason to work. So the deadline is from.
Mastermind family, welcome back to the show. I am your host Jojo, and today's artist motivation, where we bring on the hottest, latest artists and allow them to provide insight, motivation, and hope so that you can go out and create amazing things. And this is season 2 for artist motivation, and our very, very special guest is Eleonora, and she's also known as Manga Art on Instagram. Eleonora, how you doing?
Hi guys, I'm fine, thank you.
And before we get the show started, we got to do the sound off call for the day, right? Mastermind family in the building. And so, Eleonora, tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, my name is Eleonora, I'm 25 and I'm Italian. I live in the countryside of the city of Florence. I work in Italy in an historical market, but my dream is to become an illustrator, a manga and cartoon illustrator. I've studied to be restoration of painting for 3 years in the Florence University, but when I finished, I understand that wasn't my way. And I start to rediscover myself because I come back to my nerd passion. I start with Pokemon and I start to draw again, and it was like a rebirth, something like that. Something I loved.
Okay. So how did you get started on that journey, as an artist? I mean, you went one way and then now you revert back another. So how did that all get started?
I have a normal work, and that because I need to have that. But I try every day to do something of my passion. When I come back to work, every day I try to draw something, and that's nice. It is 1 year that I start to do this, and it's very special for me. It makes me feel very happy to do something like that. And I've passed a lot of time trying to do what other people want to see or other people want from me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because is this word, the manga word, is a nerdy word, so you're considered a loser and something like that. So you try to do everything to don't go in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me, and I don't care. And when I arrived at 24, I decided to, I don't care. I love to do this. I've always loved manga, anime, and nerd stuff. So why not? This is me, and I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, like really be proud of it, And
yeah, I'm proud of that.
And that's great because you're not worried about what other people think. You're doing what makes you happy and you're passionate about it.
Yeah. And another thing is doing that at 25 years old. Somebody can say you're old. When I talk on Instagram with my friends, they're always 14, 16 years old, and I say, oh my God, I'm too old. But you do this with another. You have acquired a lot of stuff from study, from work, from experience, and you can do this. You can bring this to another level. you don't stay at the same level of when you have 10 years old, 15
Right.
years old.
Right.
Things change.
Right. And you know, with you know, interacting with the younger generation, you can provide insight and, you know, just kind of tips and tricks, you know, kind of like, you know, what the show's about. I mean, I think that's, you know, a really good position to be in, is actually a teacher mentor type of role, you know, with the friends that you interact with on Instagram, right?
Yeah, right. Right now, I'm doing with a lot of. Well, I gained 1,015, 1.5k follower, and to celebrate that, just for fun, I decided to do a big Pokemon collab, and I asked to a lot of young artists to work with me, and I've raised maybe 22 people who works with me, and we will post in these days what we have done, and it's great. I've never imagined that a lot of people enjoy something that I propose, but it's fun, and there are a lot of good artists there.
That's awesome. So how did you get all that, you know, like put together, and, you know, like tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm in a group in Instagram where they organize a contest, a feature, and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with other guys to one of those collabs, two of those collabs, and then I prepare a message where I raise a lot of followers, so why don't we celebrate this? And I send, and then a lot of person come back with good feedback for me, and I raise a group, and now we are working. We're finished. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, that's awesome. So Eleonora, I know that, you know, as an artist, there may be some, you know, challenges and, you know, things that you have to overcome as an artist. So what were those challenges that you had to face as an artist, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I guess that you have always to learn something. For example, this summer I went to a manga school in Lucca. I'm very lucky because I live in Florence, is a city near to Lucca, where they made the Lucca comics.
Oh, that's
one
cool.
of the biggest festival of comics.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they have a school, and I went there to learn something about manga, because on first I thought to create my characters and a story. During the lessons, I understand that I prefer illustrate what stories, and I don't care about creating my own story. I like to draw, and that's enough. But I guess that this spring I will come back to that school, because they do other kind of course, something like, I don't know how to say in English, is something like when there is a sound that become a word.
Oh, like action of, like an action sound, or
like wow.
Sound effect, like a sound effect, right?
Yeah. It is a thing that you use a lot in manga and in comics and worldwide, not just in Japan.
Correct.
And this special lesson on this with the Japanese, and I really would like to do that, because when you put something in the Japanese character on your draw, always you have a different impact. If it's manga, well, if it's something like Avengers, maybe not, but if it's manga, it's something very it's powerful.
Yeah,
and that's nice. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something new.
Wow, that's really amazing. First of all, and you're going back again, and so in general, you just like drawing, and that's good enough for you. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, is that correct?
Okay, so have you ever thought about creating your own story?
I've thought that, but I don't know if it's because I don't think that I can do that, or I don't know. I don't have interest right now to create my own story. I prefer to represent what others do. Maybe I will create my character. That yes, but I don't know if I will create my story, my own story. I don't know.
What? How come? How come you don't know?
I really don't know. Really.
Okay.
I like to draw. I'm not a writer.
I got you. Okay. Okay. So, Eleonora, I've seen a lot of your work, and I gotta ask the question. So, what tools have you found useful as an artist to help build your portfolio and help shape your skills?
Well, when I decided to do this 1 year ago, I thought, I can use everything because tools that you use are not important. If you're good enough, you can do everything. It's not true. This is a fake. It's a fake because if you don't, I think, if you are a wonderful artist, you can do everything with everything. But when you have to learn, when you have to start, if you don't have the good tools, you risk that you do something is horrible and you say, okay, I will never do this again, just because it's not the right tools for you. And so I bought something very cheap and I threw it away after maybe 2-3 days. And I watched a lot of tutorial and the most exciting things was Copic, the Copic marker. They're expensive, but I bought some of those marker and wow. Amazing tools. Yeah, the marker works, not your hand.
Right.
There are a lot of tricks. You have to know how to use them, but it's easier. It's easier than use the cheapest marker ever. And you can see the difference if you look at the same quality, but you use two different kind of marker or pencil. You can see the difference because there is another shine, another way to do the colors is another thing. So
right.
I am a copy canvas thinker. Yeah, I love them. I really love them for the line and for the colors.
Ah, so
I guess they are amazing.
So when you're doing that, like, did you ever use like references to like kind of like figure out the drawing the anatomy and the background? Like, how did you develop that?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah. How did you develop your skills when it comes to the anatomy of different characters and also the background drawing? Did you use references, or how did you improve that skill?
I usually use some reference for the main character. I guess that you always need to look something to work again, to do this again. And for the background, I have to work a lot because I'm not good in the background. And for now I'm trying to do the something liner, something to fill the empty space. But I don't like the big background. Maybe because I can't do that. But I don't like too much. I like to do something clean, easy and clean and powerful. For me, is that one.
Yeah, and I think that's powerful what you're saying, because it always does help to have a reference, a point of reference, just to okay, I have an idea, and this is what I'm going to use to like as my reference drawing, and then I'll tweak it to however I see fit for my final like design. So I think that's important. What you're saying.
Yeah, it is important.
So
usually I draw what well, for example, now I'm reading Food Wars, very nice manga, and I'm trying to draw something of that manga. I usually read something and then draw what I read, but that's nice.
And like I said, I've seen a lot of your work, and it looks fantastic. And I know some of the family is going to ask this type of question. Is how did you actually promote yourself and get yourself out there so effectively that you have like a major following?
Well, we on Instagram I found this shout out, I guess, S4S. And you help other artists to gain more follower, more likes, and more comment, and they do the same for you. And is a nice way to have a good publicity, or is a good spotlight for you. Also, I do a lot of contests. I don't win a lot, but I do a lot of contests. First of all, because you have a reason to work. So the deadline is from 2 weeks. I have to do something very nice in 2 weeks, and is motivated.
Yeah.
And there are some pages I collab with anime manga, something in Italy. I've collab with them. And now I'm with a Pokemon fan page. And well, and other artists have some pages where they feature artists. They go around Instagram, found something and post them. They tag you, and so other artists can see you. And there are some pages that are very important for an artist to be featured because they have a really big number of followers, and they're very important. So that's the way I do those things, and I'm lucky because I found a lot of friends, a lot of fun, and that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really think that is so practical, what you're saying, because yes, you can reach out to these different pages, and some of the pages will feature you, things of that nature. You, like you mentioned, shout out for shout out. I mean, like there's just, and don't be afraid to just reach out to people, like, and just say, hey, let's do something together, and we'll post each other and we'll tag each other. So I think that's very practical, and that I would agree with you on that.
It's also important to work with others because you can learn a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. You
can talk. We have the same passion, so we can learn each other on work, on draw, but also in manga, in movies, and something like that.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't always have to be just about working and like the drawing. It can be about what the personal stuff, like what do you like to eat, or what is your favorite movie,
Yeah. It's nice because everything is everyone, and everything is close. I'm Italian, but I have an Indian friend, Indonesian friend, England friend, so everything is close.
Yeah, I mean, with the internet, it's just everybody's so close. Everybody's connected. So it just
that's fun.
It's really awesome. So I gotta ask a fun question. So what have been some of your big influences that have impacted your art?
Okay, my favorite drawer, maybe I don't have to call him a drawer, but Frank Miller for me is the best artist ever for comics. I love his Sin City and his drawings. I was lucky to meet him in Lucca 2 years ago, and was something very special for me because he's my hero for drawing. Wow. Then I guess I remember when I was a child, when I was maybe 7 years old, 8 years old, and the first two Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue was out, and my father bought me that. And when we go out to eat pizza and something like that, he drew with me Pikachu, and we drew together all the Pokemon because he's a fan like me of Pokemon. So I started with him, and then I closed this word in a box just because it wasn't popular, and then everything come back.
Wow.
I have the first 3 starter tattooed on my leg. Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur are tattooed on my leg because this is special. It's very special. Not anybody can understand it, but it's very special.
That is awesome. Wow, those are some big like influences for real. No, seriously, because I would agree. I like Frank Miller, especially for a lot of his works that he's came out with. And I guess one thing I do want to ask you is like, what are some mistakes you have seen or that you have done that you would recommend other artists to avoid?
You don't have to be quick. You don't. You have to wait the time. I need 25 years old to arrive to understand this. But if I haven't do this kind of progress today, I wasn't here. So you have to think of what you're doing. Everything is important. Everything is important. You have to think of what you want. You really want to do to be happy. First of all. And then when you work, you have to be very patient. Things that I'm not too able to do, but you have to be very patient. You always have to. You need to learn more. You never have to thought that you are arrived. There isn't a point that you are perfect. You will never be good enough. Just because you have to improve yourself, you have to get better and better and better. You can stay blocked in a. You have to move. You can stay blocked in a place or in a. You never have to think that what you are doing now is the perfect you. You have. Or you need to always to grow as an artist and as a person, learning new things and something like that. You will never be good enough for you. You have to think that.
Yeah, and I guess how do you keep yourself from like maybe how did you develop patience? Because I mean it's not easy to just say, oh, I have to like just continue to be patient and just continue to work on my craft. It just doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough. What would you tell people that say those things to themselves?
Breathe. You have to breathe.
I like it.
And stay. You have to breathe. You have just to count from 1 to 10 and then start again. You breathe and move. Go on.
Yeah, that's so true, right? Just breathe and just let it go and just continue to push on forward, right? So
exactly.
I like that. So okay. So when life gets so hectic that you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you got to create, and then you got to you got to stay on top of yourself. How do you stay like motivated during the crazy times and even during the worst times? How do you stay motivated?
It's not easy. It's not easy because usually you're alone. We thought that maybe we need that other people support us, but we are alone. In the first things that we are alone. So if you start to this, when I arrive from outside, something nice, some nice person that supports you is more efficient than if your mind thinks that you have a lot of person around you. If you think that you're alone when somebody tell you something nice is bigger, have a bigger effect. And also, for motivate myself, on the desk where I draw when I work, I have a big portrait of Goku from Dragon Ball. That's my first draw ever. He looks at me and told me, "You can do that. You can do that. You've done that one time, so you can do it every time you want. You can do that."
Wow, that's awesome.
And
go ahead.
And I'm lucky because I have friends that support me, and also my family. At first, I don't know if they thought that what I do was important. Maybe always because you have to think that cartoons, manga, anime, and comics in general, they are for child. It's a childish things. Is not something for adult, you know. So
right.
Maybe they say, "You're still there. You're 25, and you're still blocked there." Well, no. Now they support me. They understand that for me is important. So
Well, that is fantastic. I mean, no, that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go.
No, I'm saying that's amazing because it's amazing because
I'm lucky.
Yeah, because you have friends that support you, you have family that supports you now, and one, you created a image of Goku, and it's motivating you to say, hey, keep going. You've done this before, you can do it again.
He's also very strong.
Oh.
He's in a very strong post. You look at me like, come on.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool though. Okay, so I gotta ask this question, and I think a lot of artists need to know this. So you as an artist, what are the best ways for artists to make art a living for them where they're not starving?
Well, it's not easy. I guess that a lot depends from the country where you live, because it's a country like Italy is really not easy to live with artwork, music, drawing, everything. Is not easy. Is the country of art, but you can't live just with the art.
Yeah.
Good way to let you know is you have to prepare a good portfolio, because if you have something good, they can tell you no. If you go with everything you draw and you present them, maybe it's not enough. But if you have a good portfolio, it's harder that somebody tells you no.
Right.
Also, internet is a very good method to be known.
Mm-hmm.
Because we heard 1 second ago, you can be everywhere in every minute, and everybody can see your art. You can see what you do, but you have to do something concrete, something good. You can't say I can post everything and everything will be nice. Everybody will like it just because it's me. You have to work hard and do good stuff. When you do good stuff, it's hard that you don't have positive feedback back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're 100% correct that good work is hard work, but it pays dividends long term. So it's kind of important for people to look at it the long game versus the short term game, which is like instant pay, instant fame, and all this other stuff. They need to be patient, and it goes back to patience, like you were saying. So
yeah,
and I like that.
You have to be patient. You have to work a lot to improve yourself. Work, and something come back to you. I had one or two very special moments around this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great because also that I also like metal music a lot, and Slipknot.
Yes, I do.
Okay. This year, Joy Jordison left the band.
Right.
Some years ago. This year he was with his new band in Tokyo for a concert, and he posted a picture with a Japanese drummer. I draw that picture in a manga version, and I posted. Why not? I'm a huge fan of Joy Jordison. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I posted, and when I wake up in the morning, I had his and his, I guess, girlfriend, I don't know, post my draw on his page, telling everybody how cute is Joy in this picture, and was my draw. So,
What?
as a fan, was one of the biggest moment of my life, I think.
That is awesome.
I grew up with Slipknot.
No, that is
Yeah.
awesome. I bet you were like
I was
so
crying
pumped.
like a baby when I saw this.
That is awesome. Congratulations on that. Yeah, that's something to be
Thank
very
you
proud.
very much.
That's something to be very proud of. And that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very proud. It's amazing because more as a fan that drawer, I think I go to sleep and say, wow, do you know, maybe tomorrow morning I wake up with Joy Jordison like on my page, and I wake up with that.
That is awesome.
So
It's beautiful. Like, I mean, you know,
it's awesome.
then those moments is what makes it all worth it, you know. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Makes worth that.
Yeah,
Sure.
it makes it worth the hard work and the dedication and just the hours of being up till 3 a.m. So it's
Yeah. Was amazing for sure.
so we got to ask this question. What are some things you wish someone had told you before you got started?
Before I get started, well, I guess you're good enough. You can do that. You can do everything you want because you can do. You have the ability to do what you like. That, I guess, because I always grow up thinking I'm not enough to do that, to draw, to do this kind of stuff. So I lived my 24 years thinking that, because I've never been good enough for school. I'm never good enough for a lot of stuff. In my family, they always told me something like that. Even if they didn't tell me, they let me feel like this.
Really?
And I really wish that that told me before, you can do that, because I have waited 24 years to tell myself. And some days I tell myself, you can do, why not? A lot of person do that. You can do. You're not bad, worse than something.
Absolutely.
And friends help. My special friends help.
Man, that is like very important to hear, is to know that you're good enough and you can do it. Like, just because somebody else tells you that it's not possible doesn't mean it's not impossible for you to do. And it's just, I wish people were more optimistic and positive, honestly, when they see people going out after their dreams, and just support them and just say, hey, you're doing amazing stuff, and I support you. I think you're doing great stuff. And end of the story. So
yeah, because now I'm 25, next year I was 24. You're grown. But when you are 15, 16 years old, and they make you feel like a loser, it's really not nice. And that's why you need to grow, and you need to understand what you really are and what you really like to do, and things will be better. Everything will be better.
Absolutely. Eleonora, we got to ask this question. Tell us what to expect from you, what's coming in the pipeline that you're working on, and anything else that you got going on.
What I expect? I don't know. In this 2019, I want to learn something in Japanese, for example. Maybe you can help me with a character, with a drawing, with that. And
okay.
I want to be more secure, more proud of myself, and I want to draw more, do more stuff, and getting always better. And I want to do more practice with colored pencils, because I suck in that. Really, I prefer marker, but I have to learn also the pencils, because I saw a lot of draw from other artists, and they are fabulous with the pencils, and I want to try to do that. And background, maybe I have to work on background.
Okay. You got a lot of stuff that you're working on to, improve yourself.
Yeah, I have to work a lot.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Okay, so we got to ask this. What are some final words of wisdom that you would like to impart on the show?
Well, always be proud of yourself, for who you are. Always believe in yourself, even when nobody tells you that you have to do that. So you're worth, and you're able to do everything your mind wants to do, and that's my message.
Okay.
You have to be happy. You don't have to care of what other people tell you.
100% correct. I agree with that. You should be happy with you and not worry about anybody else.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. Let me see. Mastermind family, that is gonna do it for the show. We hope you enjoyed the special guest, Eleonora, and I hope you were inspired and just motivated to go out and create something amazing. Now, Eleonora, where can the people find more of your work at, and where can they connect with you?
If you want to see my art, let me tell you like that, I have a page on Instagram from now, and from the 2019 I would like to try to do commission, so I will open an Etsy page to try to sell what I do. But for now I'm on Instagram. Okay.
Okay. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.